Greetings. Thank you all for tuning in to the BZNZ Internet Talk Radio Show. We're so excited and happy to have you here tonight to be with us in our broadcast live stream. Just a few housekeeping chores before we get started and your gracious host comes online. Tonight you are in one of the best places that you could ever be, and for that you should just go ahead and give yourself a round of applause. Real quick, we'd like to give you a disclaimer. The show is not responsible for anything that is said on the show. There's your disclaimer. During the show, if you are vibing with us, you feeling what we're saying, and you would love to just give us a love token, where you're going to see at the bottom of the screen is going to say Cash App Tyron Joe, $ Tyron Joe, TYRENJO. Anything that you can give would be greatly appreciated. A one, two, or a few. We greatly appreciate it. Also, if you would like to be a sponsor of the program, please go to our Instagram page at BZNZ Talk. At BZNZ Talk, our Instagram page. Also, you can go to our Facebook page at BZNZ Talk, at BZNZ Talk, and we will be glad to work with you. And also, a quick reminder, throughout the show, I want to let you know that the likes are free, the dislikes are free, the love button is free, the share button is free, and the subscribe button is free. 5 things while you're viewing this broadcast. 5 things while you're learning and growing. 5 things that is for free, and we would love for you to partake in that during the program. Last but not least, once again, we want to thank you all for tuning in to our program, our broadcast, our live stream, because you are the ones that run the show. Thank you all. Peace. Be blessed.
We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Situationships and relations. Tyron Joe the host, start the conversation. Too much we gotta learn. 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 DZNZ, Internet Talk Radio. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Situationships and relations. Tyron Joe the host, start the conversation. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta learn. Too much we gotta
You are now tuned into BZNZ Internet Talk Radio, where the relationship talk is the conversation that never sleeps and the payoff is never cheap.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is your gracious host, Tyron Joe. But you know how we do it. We got to play that song one more again, because it's time to talk about it. It is time. Let's go.
We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Situationships and relations. Tyron Joe the host, start the conversation. Too much we gotta learn. 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 BZNZ, Internet Talk Radio. We gon' talk about it.
We talking about it.
We gon' talk about it. Situationships and relations. Tyron Joe the host, start the conversation.
Yes. man, oh man. Oh man, it's going down. It's going down. Yo, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my button at? I gotta find my button. Where is it at? We're gonna start this out the gate. Tonight. Hold on. Where we at? Ah, there we go. We're gonna start this out the gate. Just shouting out everybody. Let them go. Let them go. Well. Once again, you are back here in the building. You are back with us, BZNZ, and I am thankful and grateful. Tonight, man, you are in for a special treat. We have visiting with us from Gary, Indiana, Bishop Dwayne Coleman. Oh, man, wait till I read this bio tonight. Man, I've been knowing this brother. See, thing is, I didn't know if the brother still remembered me because it's been years since I didn't even, spoke to him. But I'm like, man, I gotta have him on the show tonight because maybe a couple weeks ago, a good friend of mine he sent me a clip of the brother preaching. I ain't even know who he was. I'm like, who was that? I was like, what? I was like, okay, we got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show. But before we do, there's some things that we must speak about real quick. We must speak about it briefly, and then we're gonna move on. Y'all know what this platform is about. Y'all know this platform is mainly about dating and relationships, but you do know from time to time we might get off of dating and relationships and hop on to something else. So here's some things that we really need to think about. Okay. I'm not a person that's really political like that. I don't encourage nobody about vote, none of that. But at the end of the day, we have a president. He said that he had barrels. Come on now, he said he had all kind of barrels that he was just waiting to be released. But as we go to the pumps today, we see that the pump that is going up to $5. Come on now, pretty soon we're gonna have to go find us a horse and carriage, and we're gonna be doing it old school style. I'm just saying that we gotta really pay attention who is in office. Hello, I'm gonna leave it right there. Also, Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade. I'm still getting a lot of flack, a lot of heat from that. But at the end of the day, if people going to say children is a gift from God, well, let them be a gift from God. But how can they be a gift from God when you are, really upset at the fact that they are saying that, they don't want you to do this harmful stuff to your body? You know what that means? Since this is a dating and relationship platform, that means that you got to really pay attention to who you letting in and out of you. Hello? You got to pay attention, ladies, to who these men are. You can't let any and every man have sex with you. Pretty much, bottom line, you got to make sure that whoever this man is that you're going to let have sex with you, he is your husband. He is your covering. Y'all know we've been talking the past couple months. We've been talking about the whispering in your ear. You got to pay attention to the whisper. Hello? See, when Eve was in the garden with Adam, even though Eve, she knew exactly what God had told Adam, she let that reptilian serpent come in and whisper in her ear and change the trajectory on how things go right now in 2022. Come on now. So I'm just saying, pay attention to that. That's bottom line. So when you get pregnant, it won't be no second thought if you want to have an abortion. Now you happy because the baby that you have in this man by is an awesome individual, is the individual that you picked, is the individual that God ordained to be your husband. All right. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are thankful and grateful tonight to be here. Also, please keep in mind to drink water. Real men drink water. I won't say the rest of it. Real men drink water. Also, man, remember to take your vitamins. Take your vitamins. This time that we are living in, we are living in a time where there is all kind of stuff out there that you can catch. That sometimes you might catch it once it's 2022, and it may not catch up to you till probably 2027. So if you always taking vitamins and stuff like that to, attack whatever may be coming into your immune system, you're gonna be a-okay. Real quick, man. Let me see. I see some people in the chat room. Put what on the shirt? What you talking about, trail money? But I see some people in the chat room, man. Let me see who we got. Kiwi 17. Blessings, everyone. Well, bless you, daughter. Let me see who is this. Will So 2AR. We are here for. Well, bless you, young man. We got my boy Trail Money. Real men drink money. That's what men drink water. Yes, sir. That will be going on a t-shirt. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I see my boy Big John is in the building. John had us all watching Zeitgeist. Man, I didn't really get a chance to finish it all, but I watched most of it, John. So once I get through speaking to Bishop Coleman, I'll let you come on in and you can start having your conversation about Zeitgeist. It is an eye opener, something to make you really think about what things that happen in this world that we live in. It is pretty much an eye opener. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and I've been talking. Let me share this. Hopefully everybody will see this. But let me read the bio real quick before we bring Bishop Coleman in. Read the bio. Let me see here real quick. All right, here we go. Bishop Dwayne M. Coleman Sr. currently serves as the pastor of New Divine Truth Apostolic Church, Inc., where he has pastored for 15 years. He is the husband of one wife and the father of 6 beautiful children. He was appointed Northwest Regional Prelate for the Anointed Word Assembly Fellowship of Churches in 2014 by presiding prelate Apostle Eddie L. Moten. He was filled with the Holy Spirit at the tender age of 17 on September 18, 1992, and called to the preaching and teaching ministry. Bishop has been preaching for over 30 years. His preaching and teaching is focused on the revelation of Jesus Christ. He is passionate about the presence of God, about praise, about worship, about ministry, and about God's people. He is a prophetic intercessor with the gifts of laying on of hands, healing, and deliverance. Bishop Coleman is not only a pastor, but also a singer, songwriter, musician, performing artist, music producer, and author. In 2013, his first book, The 3 Dimensions of Grace, was released and is currently available on Amazon.com. His next book, Kingdom Culture and Custom, is a 31-day devotional, also coming with a release date expected within the year 2022. Hold on one second. Let me see. There it is. Check this clip out real quick.
Anybody that has your ear is able to plant anything in your heart that they want to plant to their own advantage. They'll tell you you're cute, you're pretty. They'll tell you this and that and the other because they have an agenda in their heart that they want to connect your heart to, that you'll bend over backwards to give them what they want. But see, God is not like that. God is not trying to give you something. God is trying to give you someone. He didn't come to establish no religion. He came to establish relationship. God is actually in love with you. But whenever some other fool come along, they got their own agenda. And if you give them your ear, you have given them a very important part of you that does not belong to them. Your ear was designed for the voice of God. Did you hear me?
Wow, that's a whole message right there in of itself. That's pretty much what we've been teaching about here about the whispering. He said your ear was designed for God. Whew. Hold on, man. I know it was something I was missing. I knew something I was missing. Ooh-wee. Man, did you hear that? He said your ear was designed to be for God. Eve, she didn't catch the memo. Eve didn't catch the assignment. But we here today, 2022. We're going to help you with the assignment. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together for Bishop Dwayne Coleman. Good evening, sir.
God bless you, man. How you doing?
Good, brother. Good. Man.
Yes, sir.
So, man, I gotta start this off like this, man. We was catching up early, and my internet was kind of acting up because we had a real bad rainstorm earlier for like 10-15 minutes. I mean, it just
Wow.
blacked out and rained, and whenever it do that, the internet want to go a little crazy. So keep my internet in prayers tonight, y'all, that I won't freeze up on you.
Yeah.
Keep it in prayers so we won't freeze up tonight. But yeah, man, it is great having you on the show tonight, man. And like I was saying to the audience last week, is that the conversation with clergy is for questions that you don't normally really get a chance to talk about, to even ask in church.
Right.
So I want to ask you this right here. Let me see, back in January. Are you familiar with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Umar Johnson?
I am.
Well, we had Dr. Umar Johnson on our program in January.
Okay.
And he was on here to promote that he was coming to Indianapolis, where I live at, a resident of, and he was coming to, and he wanted to let the people know. So he had texted me earlier that day, and he said, "Can you please let me get like a 30-minute spot or something on your program so I can come on and let the people know that I'll be coming to Indianapolis?" I said, "Sure thing."
Right.
So it happened to be where I was able to get to Indianapolis because I'm working as a contractor, not substitute, but school bus driver in Minnesota. But I was able to fly out. I got to Indianapolis, and I went there and heard him speak. Now I brought my camera with me, and I was sitting right next to a pastor, one of the pastors of the church that Umar was speaking at, and he sat right next to me. He said, "Young man, what's your name?" I told him, I said, "Tyron." He said, "Tyron, I gotta ask you." He said, "Out of all the years I have been co-pastoring at this church, I have never seen so many young people here at this church ever." He said,
Right.
What is it about Dr. Umar, or what is it that about him that is bringing them to the church?" So I'm gonna start with you tonight. Is that, I mean, I told him flat out. I said, "It's the message." I said his message that he's
Sure.
teaching, he's got the ears of the young people. So
Right.
what is it that you can say to that as well?
You know what? A lot of people say it's about relevance, but at the end of the day, it's about truth. This is a generation that really does not appreciate being lied to. And for a long time, I really believe we were not necessarily lied to in our generation, but part of the truth was held back. We were told a denominational in the box type truth. And so, even pastoring today, you have to take a different approach. First of all, it's got to be the whole word of God, but there has to be a backdrop of the true history, true geography. People want to hear about the cultures and the customs of the lands that the Bible even referred to. This is a very informational generation, and I believe that as we're led by the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit is not as close-minded as we were taught he is. He's a very open-minded individual, and I believe that's what's got the ear of this generation is truth. There are many that are telling historical truth. There are many that are telling our the truth of our heritage right now. And so, as preachers, if we don't get up on it, if we don't start including those truths, then we'll probably be ignored by this generation. And that's really why the church has been empty of young people for so long. We have to be relevant.
Yeah, I think also is that is that what I hear, I mean, I hear a lot of messages, on Sundays now since the coronavirus, they have a lot of, online preaching and stuff going on. So I listen to a
Right.
lot of pastors, and I'm gonna tell you a lot of what I hear is, I hear a lot of diagnosing the symptoms, but not really giving a solution or a remedy to the problem. A lot of,
Right. Right.
well, this you got to stop doing. But for our young people, the thing is how do you stop doing it?
And you know what? The days of really putting bandages on situations and all of those hold on to God's unchanging hand messages and stuff like that, that day is over because really there are people that are looking for the solution. But brass tacks is this at the end of the day. Either we have faith in the word of God or we don't. And when it comes to issues like corona and a whole lot of other issues that we're dealing with, if we claim to be Christians, then we have to actually preach and teach faith in this God of ours and see it work, see it through. You know what I'm saying? And I really believe that Corona and every other thing that we've been facing is an opportunity for the church to get up off their prosperity behind, to get up off their hold on to God's unchanging hand behind, and to
Right.
get up off of all of that other stuff, man, and really just present this generation with an opportunity to put their belief in this almighty God who is loving us with all his might.
Let me say this. A couple months ago, I think either at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, I think this is what really started me doing the conversation with Clergy, because I had a topic of discussion. It was titled, "Should the church teach sex education?" And I had reached out to at least about 3 to 4 pastors, because I wanted them to come to the man. I was in Indianapolis at that time, and I wanted them to come to the studio and be on the panel and
Right.
really speak about this situation. And I got declined by I got declined by at least by 2 of them. One of them, his schedule wouldn't permit. But yeah, I got declined by at least 2 of them, and one of them never did respond back to me. So
Wow.
I was
Wow.
just like, man, I was like, wow, this is really crazy. Then I got some words sent back to me saying that some of the pastors thought that this was like I was gonna twist them up or whatever. And
Oh
they
man.
don't want to be caught up or twisted up on live air and everything like that. I said none of that was going to happen, because I truly believe that in a world where abstinence is not really being practiced, and a lot of people want to know, well, why how these kids having babies and stuff. I say I believe that is part of the church responsibility to be able to teach this stuff. But me growing up in my time, and me and you just got you talking about back in the 90s when we was deep off into the apostolic faith church, that was taboo to stuff like that.
Absolutely. But it cannot remain taboo. The church has got to take that subject right there and put it in a headlock. If control, if we're gonna see I guess order come back, as far as that's concerned, we're gonna have to teach it. Every year, I make sure to teach a series on divine sexual parameters, and I make sure that not only are adults in the building, but our children are in the building as well. Because it's just like I was saying, man. Whatever voice has your ear, that voice has an agenda attached to it, and that voice is going to paint pictures in your mind, and you on the phone 2 in the morning, late at night, talking about you hang up, no, you hang up, and ultimately, man, it's just all kind of conversation going on. I have raised 4 daughters, man, and and one of my main messages to my daughters is, if that Negro can only talk about your thighs and your breasts and your behind, he don't want you. He wants your thighs, your breasts, and your behind. It's from the abundance of his heart that his mouth is speaking. He letting you know what's in there. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to take that by the horns if we're going to see it straighten out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm so glad that you said it, because I didn't even we went on ahead and we still did the show, and I was
Right.
saying, the thing is, I'm like, if the pastor or some of the members of the church don't know how to teach sex education, then get someone certified to teach it, but do it under the umbrella of the church, because
Right.
it is certainly needed out here. Because yeah, I mean, of course, I wanted to, when I was a young man, yes, I wanted to explore and do things, but now that I'm an older man, and well, I mean, now I'm older than 20. I'm at the point where I'm like, no, this really is a serious situation,
Right.
and we really need to embrace and to teach more about marriage and about your covering. I'm like, I
Right.
see now. I see now.
Absolutely.
It's really a huge situation. If you don't mind, I was gonna ask you, what is your take on the Roe versus Wade situation?
If I'm not mistaken, they're trying to with that situation, they're trying to reverse the judgment, basically. Um, and my take on that is, I think that it starts in your personal life. Like, it takes two people to get together to actually cause a pregnancy, and abortion doesn't become a an issue until somebody gets pregnant. And I believe that it is under the conditions that a person gets pregnant that they actually have to face those type decisions. The bottom line is, if there's no commitment, if there's no marriage, come on. I mean, that's the reason why God instituted marriage in the first place, for the parameters of safety to raise a family. But when you actually open your legs or release your seed into somebody, and you're not committed to them, you don't even really like them. It was just a moment of lust, and um, a seed is planted and a baby begins to develop and whatnot. That child doesn't have a voice, and it is unfair for somebody who has a voice, who made quote unquote a mistake, and 9 times out of 10, it wasn't a mistake, it was a decision to actually determine whether that baby will ever have a voice or not. To me, it's always been absurd. You know what I'm saying? But that's from a Christian standpoint. I just believe in the old fashioned way: get married, then have kids.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I always get hit with this question. How do you why are you always giving men and women dating and relationship advice, and who deems you this, who deems you this? Number one, if you have experienced many things, if you have been through a lot of things, then at some point you don't want the young people that's coming up behind you to experience the same things that you went through. So
Right.
therefore, as a grown man, it is our responsibility, even grown women, our responsibility to share with others that may not know,
That's
that
true.
might want to be able to avoid those same mistakes that you had to go through.
Right. Exactly. I told my children that same thing. I always made it clear to my children that you don't have a perfect father, and there's no such thing as a perfect man. There are two things you can learn from dad: what to do and what not to do. Just look, because I do want my children to avoid a whole lot of the pitfalls of the mistakes that I made. Not only my own children, but the children in our congregation, the children that we come in contact with all the time. My wife is a school teacher, and hopefully, that same message is going out to her students. That's Kiwi, matter of fact. God bless you, honey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we have to not only be the example of what to do, but what not to do. And don't ever sell the illusion to our children or to the next generation that we are perfect people. We make mistakes, we make stupid decisions, but y'all look at those mistakes. Look at the consequences of the mistakes, and then make up in your mind, I ain't gonna do that.
I'm a school. I know I said it, I'm a school bus driver, and it's a young man, high school, on my bus. Athletic guy. I know he got to be a running back. I ain't asked him, but I could tell the boy can run. And so
Yeah.
he was like, yo, OG, this probably was in March. He was like, I'm going up to Zionsville next month in April for a football camp. He said, you know what Zionsville is? I'm like, yeah, that's right by That's right by somebody got a message for you on the screen. Oh no, that's right by where I live at. I stay in Indianapolis. And so
Right,
he was like, "Oh, okay, he's a high Zionsville." I said, "Oh, let me stop you right now." He asked me how was Zionsville. I said, "Let me tell you about Zionsville, young man." I was like, "You a black man? I'm a black man. It's not a place for neither one of us to go and act up." He liked to clown a lot on the bus. So I was
right.
like, now all that clowning you be doing back there in the back of that bus, when you go to Zionsville, you're gonna go straight to jail. I'll let just
Yes, sir.
keep that in mind. When you go to Zionsville, you will go straight to jail if you clown like that. And so
Wow.
he waited, and he told me, he was like, "Man, it was so boring." I was like, "Why was it boring?" Because I couldn't clown. I was like, "Wait, you didn't go to jail, did you?" He said, "No." I said, "There you go. You didn't go to jail."
Right,
And I was letting him know because I'm like, I know what happens in Zionsville. Zionsville is not too far from Carmel, and I'd have been pulled over by the cops about a few times in Carmel.
right.
They don't play. So I'm like, yo, hey, when you there, man, just be cool, bro. Just be cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we got to learn how to act at some point.
All right. We love Bishop Coleman and the New Divine Truth family, where we lift God's name up on high. This is Deaconess Rochelle. Okay, all right.
That's my sister-in-law. God bless you, honey.
All right. Who is this? Bilk Will God Talk. All right. Hey man, I'm glad we got the church in here today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let John come on up and talk to you for a minute.
Okay.
Big John, are you there?
What's going on? What's going on?
You
What's
got it?
up now?
Pastor, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I was just sitting there listening. What we talking about, Tyron?
Well, you said you were sitting there listening, so what are we talking about?
Oh, y'all was talking about the young people in the church and whatnot.
We was talking about also mentoring and giving young people giving them motivation and encouragement so they won't make the same mistakes that we made.
You definitely got to do that. That's our job. You definitely got to do that. We're
Well,
supposed to pass it down.
John, I get the ridicule all the time. Who told you who appointed you a dating and relationship coach? Who told you this? Who told you this? I'm like, well, I done been through a lot, so that's why I give back. You know,
Well,
you going through a lot, you give back, right?
that's what you're supposed to do. You know that, Tyron, they're gonna go hard on you anyway. Because Pastor
That's a
Tyron do
shame.
get a little extreme, you know, and sometimes they don't like everything that he say. So, he gets bushwhacked a lot.
Well, you know,
Man,
Pastor, they didn't like everything Jesus said. So hey,
right. That's a shame when you're trying to help somebody, though.
right. Well, all right, John, we're gonna bring you back in a little bit to talk about zeitgeist.
Okay.
Let me bring up Mr. D real quick, see what Mr. D talking about. Mr. D.
Hey, what's up there, boss? You hear me?
Oh yeah, I hear you.
All
It-
right. I want to say, God bless you to the brother pastor there. I was catching hold of some of what he was saying, and some of it hit me like a UFO. But
why?
I understand a young man's perspective is a little bit different than a 300-year-old man. So I understand where he's coming from. A lot of times we get. A lot of times people get confused with what man's feeling is as opposed to the tampered with King James Version Bible says. A lot of times they say, well, this and that, and then, like the Bible, the tampered with King James Version say applesauce and Kool-Aid, and man's theological teaching says applesauce and red wine. So
Right.
it's you got like the Tampa with King James Version says, you had to rightly divide the word of truth, and a lot of times they do have to. I think it would be better if some churches, not all, but some churches teach their younger folks about a little bit of cornito type sexual education. And I hope you caught that word
I called
because
it.
you don't want to lay all the beans and beans and hammer hocks on the table for the kids to get it curious and run out there and sample it, because I've been in some churches where, boy, don't visit church 3 times in a row, cause boy, them mothers and ushers are so try to get you a wife. Boy, if you coming there with you walk in there with a 19-piece suit on with your shoes shining and turned up, boy, they have you married before the preacher can say, "May the Lord watch."
I feel you on that.
But hey, it's good because the young folks really need somebody. If you could pull their ear, if you could pull their ear and steer them in the right direction, that'd be good. So many young folks now, especially the endangered species, which I call the I wish I was African American Negroes. Those
Hmm.
young men are dying before they get 30 years old.
Right.
Everybody want to be the next rapper. Everybody want to be the next rapper. Now they got the gun laws out where you don't have to have a permit. And with a man like myself, 300 years old, I done saw crime skyrocket. There have been more shootings in this city right here since the governor signed into law, July the 1st. You don't have to have a gun permit. Now we seeing 6 or 7 shootings every day.
Right.
Some of them are dying and some of them ain't, but you know, what can you do? A lot of darker pigmented people like to holler, it takes a village to raise a child. Shut that stuff up. Shut it up. Because if I see my neighbor, Cornbread Susie's son, out there slapping around a little bitty kid, and I run out there and say, hey, man, don't do that. Go on back in the house before I tell your mama. Mama come running out there. Who are you to tell my son what to do? So
Right. Right.
So
Yep.
you had to do like Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to fold them and when to show them. Let me knock down this 7 Up since I done. No,
Oh, you put
it's a Sprite.
the Pepsi down there?
It's a Sprite, man. I done gave up on Pepsi right now. It's a
Oh,
Sprite. I'm gonna knock it down real quick.
I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. They both got caffeine and acid, but okay.
See, there you are trying to kill me with that old nutritional stuff. Boy. Mm, mm, mm.
Hey,
Sometime it don't do you good to be a darker pigmented European man like myself.
I didn't know dark and European go together.
Yeah, they do. It's called research.
All right, we gonna bring you back. We're gonna get a greetings real quick from King Dwayne, and then we're gonna get back to the questions. Let's get a greetings from King Dwayne. What's up,
Greetings,
bro?
gentlemen. Greetings, gentlemen.
How you
Well,
doing?
bless you, sir. Good to see you, Bishop.
Good to see you as well, man.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I tried to
Oh
get
yeah.
your bro. I tried to get your bro on here tonight, but he had to work. Will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Will
Will
McCraven.
McCraven? Oh, okay.
I tried to get him on here, but he had to work tonight. He got some work to do.
Oh yeah. He'll definitely talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've been wanting Will on there anyway. I've been wanting him on there anyway.
Hey, he a journeyman, man. That boy always doing something with his music or his videography or something. So,
Right.
but I'm glad to be in the Lord's house, man. Glad to see you on the platform tonight, man. When I talked to Tyron about you being on, man, because I was the one that shared that video clip with
Yeah.
him about you. I seen that, and I said, this my brother right here. He be preaching that word. And when I saw the video clip come by, it reminded me of something that I always tell people in my circle that when they're trying to go into a relationship with someone as a man. Over a decade ago, I was taught out the gate. It should be your business to find out what a husbandman is, and it's not the same as a husband. And so when I did, find it in the word, it really opened my mind to understand. And me and Will, we have these conversations all the time. about the importance of understanding your role as Christ's reflection, and
Right.
how the couple is supposed to work in harmony, the same way that Christ and the Holy Spirit works in harmony. And I tell Tyron all the time that if you have her ear, you have her heart, and that's the beginning. So when I came across that clip and what you said, when I say it pricked me right where I stood, I said, man, this is what we talk about all the time, and this is when you go back to the beginning. Not only did you saw a lot of things, but you also saw the first act of adultery. Eve gave her ear to other things. And today, we give our ear to our mamas. We give our ear to this person. We give our ear to that person. If that happens, that is adultery. And we're so quick to call everything else, down to the actual act of sex. Oh, you stepped out, you did this, you did that. But there's so many dynamics. So many dynamics. And one thing that I love about our Lord Tyrant is that he's willing to tap into all of those dynamics. And so I love these moments with the clergy, because I told Tyrant, I said, Dwayne gonna tackle it. Dwayne ain't scared to tackle it. So, I'm grateful to see you on the show, bruh. I support you. I got to get to the church house. Um, I'm really glad to see people of our generation. And because you said something earlier when you first came on that I've told people all the time, and they talk about that gap between a certain age to the seniors in the church. And why is that gap there? Because the new generation, the millennials, they want that information that you talked about. You hit it right on the head, and they're crying for us to grab the baton and not hold back the proper literature, the things that they need to know. They want the real. They don't want anything sugar coated. They don't want you to play with them. They need to understand that the scriptures, first of all, Christ, Yeshua, he's coming back for a bride. So the scriptures have to be a book of marriage. They have to be you have to understand what the book is and apply it to life. So I'm so grateful, because I know that you're one that'll tap into those things. And I look forward to just this evening, man. I'm elated. I'm ecstatic.
Love you, man.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
All right, bro. All right, we'll bring you back in a few minutes, man. And I'm gonna bring up this last topic, and then we're gonna shift over to the movie Zeitgeist and let John ask some questions. But man, I got to bring this up, and Mr. D, he don't even know, but he kind of went into it when he was talking about there go you darker Europeans trying to talk about health. But
Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask. This is something that I do not hear. Probably, I mean, maybe a small percentage of this in our black African American churches here being preached about our health, how important our health is. Now, here on our show, there's a slogan I have for the men. It might get a little explicit. I'm not gonna use no vulgar, no curse word, but it is real men drink water, because our ladies need us to be King Kong in the bed.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, I know it, people laugh and giggle, but at the end of the day, I'm being serious when I talk about drinking water, because ED, erectile dysfunction, is really serious in the black community. And one thing that I know about our black churches is that when someone is sick, need help, what do we say, Bishop? We say, let's pray about it. But sometimes that treadmill is the answer. Sometimes a salad is the answer. So I want to know, like, do you believe, or do you think that these churches should teach more about health? Keeping people a lot longer here on the earth.
I totally believe in it. Paul believed in it too. He said to the saints in Rome, he said, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
Yes,
And
sir.
so if you're going to present God a body, there has to be some preventative measures as well. Because as African Americans, or as the true Hebrews, or whoever people say we are, we have a proclivity toward um, a whole lot of sodium and a whole lot of sugar and all of this kind of stuff. And what it causes is high blood pressure, and it causes diabetes. And then we want to cry out to God. And I really believe that we have this agent. Jesus said in St. John 16:13, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, has come, he'll guide you into all truth. Sometimes we ignore his voice when he says, do not eat that pig feet. Don't eat that. Hey man, get you some leaves, get an apple, get an orange. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
We promote it in our church, and we got these workout gurus at our church as well, man, that you know, they'll shame you if you don't go to the gym. Bottom line is, if we're gonna present God a body that he can execute ministry through, it's got to be a body that can take the ministry that's executed through it. We can't be standing there after we preach almost halfway avoiding a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? But we lay hands, and so much virtue leaves your body when you lay hands and when you minister and all of this kind of stuff, man. You gotta give God some type of physical fitness, some type of health, you know. So we promote, I'm not gonna say we promote the vegan diet or we promote the vegetarian diet, but our diet has literally changed, man, over the years. The Holy Spirit instructed me to let go of pork, period. You know, so
Come on.
and I had a piece of pig foot when I was 17. My pressure stayed up for 24 hours.
Oh,
I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. So all them pork chops and all of that kind of stuff, we just don't do it, man. And I'm down to a diet of pretty much fish and like turkey, chicken, that kind of thing. I'm not messing with a lot of that hard meat, you know. Fruit, which is my favorite, especially in the summertime. Fruit, water, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, because thing is, a lot of people they don't think that the type of diseases that our aunties and our uncles, our mom that they had, they don't think that's gonna get to us. And I'm 39, and I noticed, you know, down through the years, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling them same little pains that such and such used to say they had. All right, I need to take this out of my diet. I need to get back on that treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the dentist the other day. They checked my blood pressure. They said that blood pressure kind of high. All right, okay. I need to do this more with my diet. I need to, you know, drink more water. Do this, do that.
That water.
Because thing is, I don't know, but yes, I've had friends and I know plenty of worship leaders that, you know, I sit there and watch them worship. I mean getting it in, but I'm like, man, that worship leader is pretty mighty big. And I'm like, ain't nobody said nothing about him. Like, I got a good buddy. He played the keys. He used to direct the choir when I was I went to Vincennes University. I was in the choir, direct the choir. The man could do all that, but he almost died a couple times of a heart attack.
Wow.
He's a swimmer, you know, but big guy. He about 6'1", 6'2", and he at least every bit of close to 700 pounds.
Ooh.
No exaggeration. And I remember one time I'm looking on Facebook, he talking about he had a picture of him in the hospital. I had to hurry up, reach the phone, like, man, what you doing in the hospital? Oh man, I was swimming in the pool, and man, I couldn't catch my breath. I was shortness of breath. And so, man, I just hurried up, got out the pool, and went straight to the hospital. They kept me, said I almost had a heart attack.
Wow.
Like, man, you got to get on that. You got to get on that, man. If you want to be able to stand and worship and sing and play them keys, you know, for years to come. Come on, man.
Yeah.
We got to do something about this health. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad over in the black Muslim community. He wrote 2 books titled How to Eat to Live, Book 1 and Book 2. A lot of people said that man was crazy, but it's people that has read that book and know, like, wow, this book has really helped and cured and saved my life.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I think, yeah, the health is something that not really talked about a lot in the church. You know, one thing I do like that's talked about in the church, I love that. That's fasting. Oh man, that fasting.
Yes, sir.
It has benefits. It has benefits beyond our imagination.
Right.
When it comes down to fasting. Yes, sir.
And fasting is hardly taught either, to tell you the truth.
Ooh.
But Yeah, but we stay on it, man. You have to stay on it because yeah, you have to have a fasted lifestyle. I know a lot of churches have certain seasons. They say we're gonna go on a 21 day or we're gonna go on a 3 day
Come on,
or
talk
this.
on it.
But look, man, we got to have a fasted lifestyle. It has to be a discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we can't. I mean, it's just a certain way that we eat and don't eat that. And then with me, sometimes here's my fault. Sometimes I'm guilty of just not eating, and that's not good either. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to have a balance about it.
And I remember church I was attending, and they was saying everybody go. It was like how like, most churches when it's the beginning of the year, and they was having people go on fast and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
they told them, they said pick what it is that you want to fast from, and the stuff that people was saying, I'm like, because what they said is that make sure whatever it is something that gonna really bother you to stay away from it. Not just, you don't really like chocolate chip cookies anyway. So since I don't really like chocolate chip cookies, I'm just gonna go ahead on and fast away from chocolate chip cookies. No. How about them bag of Doritos? The bag of Doritos and that sour cream dip that you got sitting in that fridge.
I don't think my church like when I prescribe fast because I'm straight like we eating leaves and water for the next 21 days.
There you go. Oh man. Well, let me see. It is we at the top of the hour, so we're gonna talk about the movie Zeitgeist. Now I'm gonna tell you, I was watching it in spurts because I had I had so much going on. Like I had people calling me here, then I gotta go to work, and I gotta do this. And I was watching it, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna watch it again. And some of the stuff that was in that movie really, I mean, wow, it did catch my eye. Before we
Yeah.
bring John up, what was like some of the things that was catching you in the movie?
At the beginning of the movie, they tackled the whole religious
Mhm.
situation, and I'm thinking that they're just breaking it down in categories of religion and economics and politics and society and the whole mentality behind everything, all those categories. Which at the end of the day, if you read the book of Daniel, the book of Ezekiel, the book of Revelation, a whole lot of what is going on basically is spelled out in those books. And it's not just an end time situation, but it's something that has been going on because Jesus was coming back during World War II. Jesus was coming back during World War One. Jesus was coming back during the Vietnam War. Jesus was coming back. All of the stuff that we see unfolding, we just know Jesus is coming back. And that's how the church analyzes it. But I think we got to have a bigger mind and see the bigger picture, that we can't just sit back, twiddle our thumbs, and say, Jesus is coming back. We're here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And so I've never really been a huge conspiracy theorist or anything like that, because at the end of the day, a whole lot of that don't matter anyway. I feel like we are here making assumptions about a planet that was here before we got here, based off the information that people who just got here gave us. And at the end of the day, nobody has been able to solve any problem, and God has been ignored, and hence our problem. And God is such a gentleman. He allows us to choose destruction.
Mm, mm. I'm gonna put the name up. They want to know what's the name of the movie, and the movie was Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist, the movie. Just go to I pulled it up off of YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a documentary about close to 2 hours long. I was gonna say uh I was just looking at the definition of zeitgeist, and I didn't even know that's what it was referring to. It said the defining spirit or mood of a particular period of history as shown by the ideas and beliefs of the time. It said the story captured the zeitgeist of the late 1960s. And I did see in the movie where it was talking about the early 1900s, where it was talking about how the banks really how they began to really take over the world, and now they, we know the bankers run the world. So
Of course.
the Morgans, the who was it, JP Morgan, Rothschild, some other names that was unfamiliar to me, that they named, but
Mhm.
it was all interesting. So I'm gonna bring up John, Big John, this time. Let him go ahead and talk about it. Big John, where you at? There's a purpose and promise on our lives. Absolutely. I don't know where John then went. All right, John, going once, going twice. We're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next one. Let me bring Mr. D on in. You drink that 7 Up, Mr. D? Uh-oh. Man, his screen and went out too. Oh no. Don't tell me, everybody. Let me see. John, are you there? All right. All right, there. Okay, there go. There go.
Boss.
Oh, there you go. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I was listening to you brothers up there talking about that fast, and
Yes, sir.
hey, man, that right there. When you fast, well, I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want to get beat up, but you know,
Oh,
I
talk
I
about
don't understand. Well, I don't understand how these people can fast. Well, how they can consider themselves Christians when they fast, contrary to the teachings of the Apostle Paul in the New Testament of the Tempered with King James Version. They don't fast like that. I mean, they talk about Daniel fasts and corporate fasts and shumane food fasting and stoplight fasting and all that junk. I ain't even saw that after Pentecost. So I'm just a little bit confused on that. But then again, when you get 300 years old, you get confused on a few things.
Yeah.
Cause see, when I was a little babe, about 300 years ago, and I was in church, heavy into church. I said like it's heavy into church. The gentleman that I studied up under, he believed fasting is from 12 o'clock midnight to 12 o'clock the next midnight. No food, no water. If he said 7 days, you went 7 days and nights. These folk now they fast from 8 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. So you sleeping half of that fasting time away. So you really ain't
Hmm.
fasting.
Trying to be slick with it.
right.
Yeah, I mean, cause see, a lot of those a lot of those, I wish I was African American Negroes don't know that over in the motherland, a fast was considered Monday to Wednesday was considered one day if it was during the Holy Week. So I'm just gonna let that alone now because I ain't gonna get beat up now because
You said over in the Holy Land,
I'm over in the motherland.
motherland. Well, that
Now,
fast you
now y'all
sound like
y'all
Ramadan. It sound like Ramadan.
well, I'll say it like this because I know where the actual Ramadan started from, but I'll say it like this. A lot of those darker pigmented, I wish I was African American Negroes, like to call the motherland Africa. But actually, for them that are saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and fire baptized, their motherland is in the Holy Land. I,
True.
Ah,
I,
okay.
I didn't hurt nobody, did I?
No,
No, you telling the truth so far. I'll
I'm
hop
still, I'm
in when
still
you start
ticking.
hurting.
I'm still ticking.
Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna have to put on my Indiana Colts football helmet and start dodging blows.
You certainly don't want Colts. You better get a Bears or a Viking.
Yeah, because see, like even today, I'm getting ready to turn myself into a contortionist. And while I'm driving this car, I'm gonna put my foot behind my head so nobody will sneak up and hit me.
Oh, whoa,
Most
whoa, whoa,
most
whoa.
people consider themselves Christians today, have a carnality type mind as opposed to a spiritual mind to serve a spiritual God. Am I right,
True,
brother preacher?
true.
Oh, okay. Long as I got the brother preacher on my side, I'm cool.
You so far so good. So far so good.
Cause see, I, I'll say it like this before somebody throw a shoe in the car here and hit me in the head. Listen, people today have destroyed. I'll say it like this: most people of today has destroyed the true meaning of the foundation of the tampered with King James Version Bible. Number one, they really don't understand spirituality because they say they're serving a God who is a spiritual God, but yet and still they're doing carnal things, and they said that they are born again Christians.
Well,
Am I
here's the
am I
thing.
too rough there?
Here's the thing, and I'm a different kind of preacher for this generation. I really believe in bringing the truth back because I grew up in it. And the bottom line is not only is quote unquote Christianity, which Jesus didn't come to start anyway, but Christianity, this religion that is far off its mark as they tried to set it, but it's not even really recognizable. You understand? I understand what it means to serve a spiritual God because I am a spirit. When God said, "Let us make man in our image and after our likeness," it wasn't no flesh there. That was the word speaking. That was a spirit speaking. So
Whoa.
I'm a word. I'm a spirit, and I
Woo.
have to govern. I have to govern my life that way. If I'm going to be a Christian, then I got to go back to the origin of word and spirit.
Come on.
So look, I ain't. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I
We got
like
to
that.
make.
I'm ready to pass the bucket
He
around
said,
now. I
he said
like
you got
that.
the right one tonight. He said you got the right one tonight.
I,
Ah.
I like that. I like that. Well,
And who is
you
this?
accidentally made me think somebody on that show know what they talking about.
Hey, did you almost say amen?
Hey, man, I was getting ready to break out the bucket and start passing it around for the building fund.
Hey, beautiful. Hey, I see we got John. We got John, and John must have dozed off and went to sleep or something. But I see we got John in. We wanted John to come in and talk about the zeitgeist because we was talking about it, John.
Yeah, I believe it's pronounced Zeitgeist, but it really don't matter how you say it.
Okay.
Uh, I watched the movie probably a couple of years ago, part one and two, and I just wanted to talk about it because this would be the first pastor we had on the show that actually probably seen it, and I wanted to get his opinion on it.
It's to me, it's very insightful, and to me, it's a good documentary historically speaking. I feel like if you're going to do a historic documentary, though, you might not want to be so opinionated and just but it did present a lot of fact, and I appreciated that. I especially appreciated the comparison of all of the religions and all of the stories that were derived from each culture, from stargazing and whatnot. I've studied that stuff for years. I studied what's called Mazaroth. If you want to write that down, Mazaroth. That's mentioned in the book of Job, I think chapter 32. And that's where our whole zodiac and everything comes from. And that the definition of that word zodiac is the way. And so, they say that Christianity, which again, Jesus didn't come to start, but Christianity is a plagiarism of the same stories in cultures that existed before even Judaism. Bottom line, though, is as preachers of the gospel, and I'm just dealing with the religious aspect of it. as preachers of the gospel, I don't feel that it's our job to convince anybody, but pretty much to, preach the gospel. And then as it related to a lot of what seemed like conspiracy theory to me in the documentary, you got a lot of that going around. I think a lot of that is fear factor. And I also think too that if you expose yourself to a whole bunch of news all day long and you're depressed and you're fearful, you're to blame for your depression and your fear, because a lot of what they saying in the news is just distraction to take us off the scent of what's really going on in the background, to tell you the real truth.
All right, all right. Um, yeah, it did have a lot of conspiracy theories in there from religion to 9/11. Uh, I just uh I don't know. We talk a lot about uh religion on this show because it coincides with a lot of things that go on in the world.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I like to come from um a non-religious point of view because everybody's not religious. You know what I mean?
that's
And
true.
we try to at some point reach everybody and get everybody to be a part of the conversation. Um, so I try to a lot of times come from a non-religious point of view. Um, we had one show we went back and forth uh, about certain things in the Bible, and we do it a lot. And but I like to get everybody's point of view, not just the religious point of view, because then we tend to swing towards in that direction. And I think when we do that, we lose viewers who are maybe not religious,
True.
like some of us are. So
True.
I thought it was a very interesting documentary. Uh, I wish Dwayne could have saw it if he didn't see it yet. Tyra, you didn't. You say you didn't get to see all of it. What parts did you see?
I saw I seen like the beginning what he was talking about how they went down the history, how they went down the history and told all the different stories of the coming Messiah, like they had Jesus, Heru, who else? Misra. I see that saying that they was born of a virgin December 25th. Yeah, these are all accounts. Like I mean, I look at the different religions, like the Muslim religion, they talk about Allah. One religion talk about Elohim. You got Jehovah Witness talk about Jehovah. So everybody got they gods, they Jesus who they follow. I don't really get too deep off. I don't really get too deep off into it. And then I seen how it moved from talking about religion and then it started talking about 9/11. I think I seen that where they talked about 9/11. How that was yeah, that was mainly nothing but a lot of conspiracy theory
A
going on.
hoax.
Um, oh, somebody got ambulance coming. What else? The banks. That's what I was really looking at is how the bankers was able to finagle the president into and and this goes on today. If you got the
Of
money,
course,
you can get legislature signed just like that.
of
You know,
course.
like right now, I wish if I had $1 billion right now, I give it to the new president so he can go ahead and release those barrels and take this $5 gas down. Take that $5 gas down to at least $2. Come on now. You got people that can't even go across town because that extra $5 that they was gonna buy that little Caesars hot and ready, that $5 got to go in the tank.
Let me
Mm-mm-mm.
ask you this, Ty,
Go ahead.
and I know you probably heard me ask you this question before, and this is just a thought. What if we had someone who could bring the millionaires and billionaires together just in this country and have them start giving a million here, a billionaire, 2 billion here, a millionaire, until we knock down the deficit of this country, which is in the trillions. If we could get somebody to start having somebody donate money to do that, knock down that deficit, do you think the government would have that person murked or start murking folks because they want us to have that deficit, or would they just let them knock it down?
You dead on it. No, they want to keep it. They want to keep it like that.
Wait a oh Lord.
It's got to be some type of scandal. It's got to be
I'll
some
cut
type
it
of
out.
scandal going on.
Stop.
Okay, we got conservative.
You don't think so, Mr. D?
Conservative D.
Yes, sir.
You
I'm
don't think
here.
so?
No, sir. First of
Because I
all,
believe our
you're not.
government is capable of anything.
First of all, you know. Well, I'll
Let's
because
bring
Big
Dwayne
John's
in.
my boy. Because Big John's my partner. I'm gonna go ahead and ride with him on the government can do anything. But first of all, you're not going to get all the millionaires together to do anything like that because most of your billionaires are selfish, spoiled brats. And it's hard to get a selfish kid to give anybody anything. He can have a handful of crackers and you can be out there, hey, just throw me a cracker. Oh, no, dog, I got mine, you get yours. You know, in my way of speaking, that's the darker pigmented man's mentality. I got mine, get yours the best way you can.
I can see that.
It's all a big game. It's almost as if
Exactly.
it were not for the coin and the paper, money is an illusion anyway. And so it's like it's pretty much a mind game. And money is so universal that it covers every aspect of everything. You got it in the government, you got it in society, you got it in church. I mean, you got it everywhere. And you know, we got this misconstrued idea. Even online, I hear a lot of people saying, you know, if money is the root of all evil, then why is it in the church? Well, shoot, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So if
Wait,
money is,
that somebody misquoted that a little bit.
yeah, they
Somebody
did.
somebody
They
somebody stuck their
misquoted it a
toe in the
lot.
pie right there. It's,
Yeah, they messed it all up. They
yeah,
messed
it
it up.
said
There
for
you
the
go.
love of money is the
There you
root of
go.
all evil.
There you go.
Now, and he also let you know in that same tampered with King James version, he also let you know that you shouldn't be persuaded by filthy lucre.
At
You know
all.
what that is now.
Yeah, that's that ill-gotten money right there.
Oh, I done seen dope pushers drop $500 on an offering tray, and the preacher say, "Yeah, that's showing up a good blessing right there."
You know,
At least,
I know some. I know some that wouldn't take that money. I know some that did
Hey,
not take the money.
I guarantee you, if that preacher did not know that that was dope money, he'll take that money off of that table and enjoy it to the best of his ability. The
well, you
only
can.
time, the only time they will actually kick back on dope money is if the whole congregation knows it's dope money. But you can slip him $1,000 tied envelope, and I guarantee Mo told you, boy, that money then got blessed 17 times before he spent it.
Well, you better talk to God about it and keep your mouth closed about it. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
these lights got to still come on. These lights
hey,
got to
now
come on next month.
here you go. Now, check it out. Check it out. Now I know a guy. I know a guy that every time he got ready to go to court. Now check this out. He don't believe in churches and don't deal with churches. Can't stand churches. But every time it came time for him to go to court, that brother get 2 days before court day, he right there at the church. Hey, brother pastor, I need you to bless this right here. Bless this. You know, yes, my son. We're going to pray the blessings down on you. Okay, get the blessings prayed on him. Go to court, judge throw it away. Technicality. 3 years later, Mother Hornsby, could you give Sister Nadine a prayer? Tell the pastor to pray for me. I didn't accidentally got myself in a hustle there. Okay, they prayed for him. And see, I know this girl, man, that's got her grandmother got buku millions of dollars. If I hadn't been silly, I'd been enjoying it right now. But her brother took and gave a well-known PAW preacher in the city of Indianapolis $10,000 lottery money. He stopped being the young man stopped being a brother, and all of a sudden became a deacon.
He became a deacon.
Yeah, $10,000.
A $10,000.
I ain't gonna call his name because he's he used to be a well-known preacher in the city here before he went to sleep. And I'm like, well, doggone it, no wonder I can't move up in the church because I ain't got $10,000.
Talking about, I know he.
Hey, man.
I know he talking
Stop
about.
it. Stop it, boy. Stop it.
Don't say
Stop
nothing.
it. You're gonna have somebody burning a fist in front of the radio station. Stop it.
I ain't said a word.
Hey man, I mean, it's crazy like that. I mean, I with me being 300 years old, I done saw stuff like this come down the pipe. I done saw a whole lot of different types of religions that kicks against the tampered with King James Version Bible when they all hinge off of what was put in the King James Version Bible. Tampered with King James Version.
Do y'all know when stuff like that happens and it flows down the pipeline, those are the kind of stuff that turns young people away from the church, and they wonder why the young people don't want to go to church.
I'll tell you why they don't want to go to church. You know why? The reason why they don't want to. One of the most
gossip places in the community, and that stuff you can't hide that stuff. That stuff get revealed, and the kids
the
are
reason
sitting
why
there.
They don't.
Okay, I'm supposed to be listening to the word, and he telling me every 5 minutes to pull my pants up. He can't even run his church right. I'm out of here.
Okay, well, see, that right there is a reason why a lot of preachers are sugarcoating the tampered with King James Version Bible instead of giving it down where the old folks say where the rubber meet the road at. Because see, if you come to church for the right reason to get your soul together with God, and the preacher lay it out there like he's supposed to, the tampered with King James Version said he would draw them. You know, he said, with love and kindness have I drawn them. It didn't say that you got to look, they got churches today doing what's known as praise dances with flags and stuff. You ain't saw that in no Bible. You ain't saw that in the Bible whatsoever. They got folks now that consider themselves to be board of bishops that's saying who to set over this church and that church, and don't even know if God didn't touch them in the last 50 years.
True that.
So you see, if these young folks want to come to church and their heart is ready to come to church, just like when they know they're getting ready to go before the judge, all they got to do is come straight and come with a decent heart, and regardless to what Susie Mae and Cracker Barrel John is saying around them, they focus on that word in the tampered with King James Version, and God will give them the blessing of the Holy Ghost to make them want to get deeper into Him. Hey, I'm original BW3 back in the day. I went to a church, and when I went to that church, I came out a different man. I didn't want to, entertain some of the stuff that I was doing back in the day. And I start focusing on what the preacher was preaching, and I start focusing on the word, and I start researching the word, and I'm like, hey man, this is good right here. This is better than dope. So it all depends. People destroy the gospel by trying to twist it, sugarcoat it, and make it easy for the people. You don't do that, because when you change the word of the gospel, you actually is changing the man you said that you're following.
Okay, well, I got a question.
Yeah, and I got an answer. You ain't gonna lie.
I'm hearing everything you saying, but like me and Bishop Dwayne was talking about earlier, I'm saying there has to be some type of a message, because you know the pastor, when we had that pastor on this program as well, when he was talking to me about Dr. Umar Johnson, he said, I have never seen this many young people before in my church. He said, what is it about Umar that is drawing the young people? Is his message.
Hey,
It was definitely
it's
his
not.
message.
It's not his message. I don't believe that.
I
I
believe it
don't believe that.
is.
What is Umar? What is
Can I
Umar?
tell you why I believe it's his message?
Go
Because
ahead, Doc. I'm listening. I'm
because
all
back in
ears.
my
I'm
day when I
listening.
went to church, it was a different kind of ambiance taught in the church. You know what I'm saying? It was that of peace and you know, pull your pants up, behave, that type of thing. It was no kind of realism of what was going on in the world. You know what I mean? Dr. Umar is telling us, you know, and I interviewed him when Tyron did that show. If you watch it, I interviewed him, and he said, because I asked him what did he think about that gun law, and he said, I think it's a setup. He said for you know, against young black men. He said, but at the same time, he said, I think every every black person should be carrying. And I wholeheartedly believe that because the criminals is not going to stop carrying. The thugs and the gangsters is not going to stop carrying. People who want to bust in your house and take what you got is not going to stop carrying. You know what I'm saying? And so it's nothing but a tool, and it's how you use it. You use it to protect yourself. You use it to protect the lives of those who are in your household. You know, you use it to protect yourself when you're out and about and situations happen. Like this guy up in New
Uh,
York ran up in this place and started shooting all these people, you know, but
can
they're
I
not
say
allowed
something?
to have guns in New York.
Somebody should have been
You
there to
think he
get
should have did that in Indianapolis? No, because everybody and their mama carrying, and he would have got lit up because people
Can
have
can
they have the right to protect themselves. So we wasn't too
can
much
I say something?
we wasn't too
Hey,
much
hey,
focusing on that back in my day. My grandfather had a gun. My grandmother had a gun. My mother had a gun. And none of them had a license to carry. Why? Go ahead, Mr. D.
okay. First of all, let me throw this out there. The comments that is coming from Mr. D is strictly Mr. D and Crowded Communications, and is not the show or the producer is not responsible for the statement that is about to be made. Dr. Umar is a kook.
Oh, now
First of
we
all, Dr. Umar is a kook, and Dr. Umar, he is preaching violence. That's why those young guys want to get with him. They want to get with him because he's preaching violence. Now, I tell you what, take those same young guys that showed up at the program there, and if they are followers of Umar, they need their head chopped off too, because I'm a very firm believer in this. You are who you follow. Blind lead to blind, they all fall in the ditch. Dr. Umar made himself a pan African prince, made himself, not the people, not the folks around him, but he himself gave himself that title. And oh man, well, don't get me started on that guy.
well,
Man,
well, well,
oh,
let's read the
but
comment.
anyway,
Let's read the comment. The real issue is there is not fear or relevance for God. This generation is fearless. What's your take on that, Bishop Dwayne?
This is a fearless generation, but they don't have sense enough to have fear because that's just not. I mean, common sense is not common anymore. You know what I'm saying? So this generation, of course, the most fatherless generation in the world, and the most mother raised, even though they ain't have doing their job either. So this generation pretty much has raised itself, and the only thing they got to parent them basically is the internet and TV and video games, and there's no fear of God. So yeah, of course there's no common sense fear. They think they are just, you know what I'm saying, indestructible. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why so many of them So many of them right now are winding up dead because it's like, man, you going out and you facing guns fearless, like, and you want to squeeze triggers, and of course, he that lives by the sword is gonna die by the sword. But ain't nobody teaching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I work with these type of kids. Fearless is on their way. I mean, I got kids that are just run up in front of a moving bus to get the bus to stop. I'm like, if I didn't put on the brakes, I would have just ran you right over when you did that. But these kids are fearless. Let's get KD in here. He been kind of quiet tonight. Let's get KD in.
Hey man, I'm just letting y'all do what y'all do. But I mean, I'm you know me. I got my notes here. I got the iPad here, so I want to read
I
some scripture.
already know you ready to go ham. I already know.
To go early what Bishop was saying, and what John was saying. John was talking about the church, and I guess the question that's just ringing in my spirit, because this is not the first time that I've heard stuff like that. What is really the problem if because you're attacking the very things that Bishop was just talking about, order, a generation. I just released a video on my YouTube channel yesterday talking about the absence of shame in this generation. Modern day Rome, modern day Babylon, fallen because of the foolishness and the lust of their loins. This is a repeat. This is an absolute repeat. Because and you can see it. You can see the prophecy coming forth because people are moving the way they want to move. Live your truth. When the scriptures say He is the way, the truth, and the light, but you're gonna live your truth. You're gonna just do it, and you're gonna move how you want to move. And so this is like a reprobate mind thing to me because you're not subscribing to the mind that's higher than yours or the way that's higher than yours. As Bishop was talking about, you're being released to your own will, and to be a true follower of the kingdom, you got to relinquish your will. That's really what repentance is: a changing, metanos, as in the Greek, a changing of your mind. Because at the end of the day, my way is not the way. I have something to carry out, and I love what Bishop said earlier, because I said it on the show. We are not just here to just pay bills, die, ride cars, get big houses, get married, white picket fences, all this different stuff. Salvation is not just about doing all that and just dying. Dude, you got a job to do. I always use the example: if you went and got a TV and it didn't operate the way it's supposed to do, the main function, you're gonna feel bamboozled. You're gonna run to Walmart and be mad. If you go and you get a car and then you drive off and it's a lemon out the gate, you're gonna think you got bamboozled. You're gonna be ready to fight the salesman. We make how do we treat Yahweh? Because I remember someone getting mad because a individual said something about leftovers, but we give God the end of us. We waste our 20s, we waste our 30s, we waste the prime of our lives, and then we try to give God what's left over us at the end. Like Mr. D was saying, when something's wrong with you, now all of a sudden you want to run to the church. But this is what I love. When he taught, when I always laugh at this area of scripture because I like the back and forth between Yeshua and the disciples. And it's almost like I can picture them laughing like, bruh, Jesus, why are you talking to the multitude this way? You don't talk to us like this. Why are you talking to them this way? He made it clear to them because they're not kingdom. they not catching it like y'all. But what I want you to understand is that the kingdom is the way in which the scriptures talk about. Behold, a sower went forth to sow, and when he sowed, some seed fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Then he talked about the seed falling on the stony ground. Then he talked about the seed on the thorny ground. Then he talked about good ground. And as we skip down, he talked about how when it got to the wheat and the tares. That's the specific area I want to deal with. He said, so the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir. Now, I look at this the same way John was just speaking. It's like they came to the man of God and said, Sir, didn't not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence they had it tares? He said it to them, an enemy has done this. He was able to diagnose it immediately. He was able to pay attention to it immediately and call it out. But I like the instruction. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, nah, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye uproot also the wheat. There are tares and wheat in the church. And that's the biggest misconception that people have. You're going to have both in the church, but there's a way that Yahshua prescribed that you deal with it. He said, let both grow together into the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat in my barn. See, kingdom and fraudulent, it's gonna work itself out. It's gonna be exposed. But if you don't catch the vision, if you're not catching it, you're also exposing who you are. And this is some of the stuff that stood out to me in Zeke guys. What I really when I was really looking at this. Number one, some of the things that were being said really sent radars off of my head because number one, Yahweh loves us, but he don't love sin.
Right.
When I think about how the scriptures talk about Yahshua was wanting to have that cup pass from him, I am convinced that in flesh he was seeing forward to where his father was going to look at him and see sin, and he didn't want he couldn't. I don't think right at that moment he was ready to bear that burden or bear that idea that when my father see me on that cross, he gonna see the sins of the world and he gonna let loose on me. He gonna let loose. This is why we have to be grateful for our lives, because this is an opportunity to do more than just go down in Jesus' name, come up, I'm saved, I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. Dude, we got a job to do. If we can give all our lives to going to clubs and doing all this different stuff and living like this, why aren't we giving our prime to the one who created us? So that we're not moving around, like Bishop said, giving here it is, we gave all our youth to foolishness. Now we run to God when we old, tired, and got the last of us. That's leftovers. No, we got to be better, man. We got to be better
Yes, sir.
be able to push that to our children because we are the husbandman. Family starts in man. And I need a moment. So y'all go ahead and take from that. Family starts in man. And I'm learning not to take this thing for granted. Because just like Bishop acknowledged, I've made a lot of mistakes. And when I think about what he's allowed me to be, I'm so grateful for my life. So grateful. So give me a moment. Give me a moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so.
Yeah, yeah. D, what you got on that, D? D, John, what y'all got?
Hey, man. Only thing I can say is he hitting it and he hitting it good.
Yes,
I
sir.
like to see the I like to see the king put his foot in the soup and not worry about getting his toes burnt. Hey, but let's let us take a moment and think. All of this going on in this world. A lot of people don't like to think religion or bibliological or don't want to even think about the tempered with King James Version Bible. But let's take a moment and think. Okay, if there was no religion or no Bible or any way to get back to the Almighty God, what would this world be like? Look at it now. And just imagine what it would be like without somebody trying to tell somebody, hey, that ain't the right way to do that. God did not put you down here like that. God did not want you to do this. God didn't want you to go that way. Because, see, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the stats or anything, but since they passed the no permit law, okay, I understand that the crooks and the criminals are always going to find a way to break the law. But we've got 16, 17, 12, 13-year-old guys in the city of Indianapolis walking around like they wide earth and gun smoke. I mean, they're shooting people. They shooting innocent kids in apartment buildings and stuff. Now, I understand. Listen, I'm one of the first guys to stand up and say, hey, let's go with the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But there should be something put in that system there that make it harder for the knuckleheads to get guns. You go to
But
the gun show, you can buy any gun you want to at the gun show. You don't have to have no license. You don't have to have no background check.
Okay, so
And
now
you get right out.
I got a question for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You said Dr. Umar is teaching hatred and stuff because he telling young black men about picking up guns and stuff like that and defending themselves.
And in my opinion, that's idiocracy. Because no matter how many black people get a gun, they're still not going to get enough guns to take down the people that's got the authority.
Right. I'm with you on that, but I do believe that on this past Saturday, if there was somebody out there in that parking lot that had something for the dude that was up there just shooting folks, because I mean he couldn't see it, he couldn't see what was behind him. If somebody had something for him, they probably would have been able to get him before he was able to even walk through the doors of the supermarket.
Okay, let's forget about Saturday and look at Sunday. Okay, there wasn't no gun used Sunday, but they took the man down. The guy saw what was happening and he bashed him in the back of the head with a chair. Okay, so that wasn't no gun used there, but they took him down.
I mean, well, this young man had on armor suit and all that. He had on
this man, the 18-year-old kid, I'll call him a kid, 18-year-old kid, had plotted this and had put it on Facebook. Big Brother wasn't watching Facebook close enough to think that, okay, this guy might go ahead and do this because he's got a manifesto already laid out. And then he go 200 miles away from his house to do some recon on a predominantly black neighborhood. Okay, you know who I blame for that? I blame the dummy 18-year-old kid as well as Uncle Donald. When Uncle Donald was elected by all of these folk that said, I ain't gonna vote, I don't like politics and all of that, he opened the door. And like an old lady told me, when Donald Trump got elected, he popped up in one of the seals in Revelation.
Mr. D, I don't think that had nothing to do with Uncle Donald. I think they had something to do with the city of New York. For years, or the state of New York, or whatever you want to call it, for years in New York, you're not allowed to have a firearm. So he went to a predominantly black store where he knew a lot of African Americans would be, and they would be unarmed. He wouldn't have tried that in Indianapolis. He wouldn't have tried that in Gary, Indiana. He wouldn't have tried that in a state or a place like Texas. He wouldn't apply that when people were armed because they would have been able to retaliate and protect themselves. But because places like New York and Illinois, you're not allowed to have a firearm, he took advantage of that situation. He studied that situation. Let me go somewhere where the citizens are not allowed to arm themselves. In Illinois, they just passed, I don't know if it was medicinal or recreational, but you can smoke weed now. You have people suing. You have people suing the sheriff's department and police department in Illinois because they're not giving people their FOID cards back. Just how we used to have that pink card, that permit, they had what you had, a FOID, a FOID card, basically a permit to carry in Illinois. And people were not getting their cards back. It was taking them months and months and months and months. And they were starting to bring up lawsuits. And they were saying, oh, well, because of the coronavirus, and the people were like, no, y'all been backed up way before coronavirus. That's not an excuse. We paid our money. We did our fingerprints and everything we're supposed to do. We want our cards so we can legally carry. And Illinois has been slipping in that place because they have not been giving people their cards back. And there's a lot of other states that Illinois does not recognize. If you're from Indiana and you go over to Illinois, you can't carry it. Even if you got a permit, they don't recognize Indiana's permit.
No, not at
you're
all.
Stuck. You know what I'm saying? So that guy knew what he was doing when he went to a place where he knew the citizens weren't allowed to have firearms, and he went and he started killing folks who he knew couldn't legally retaliate. The laws are messed up. We need to be able to protect ourselves.
Wait, D, hold on, D. I'm gonna say this. I get what John is saying. What John is saying is, if this young boy that was doing the killing at that supermarket, if he had seen people walking out with their firearm on their hip, he probably would have thought twice before. Wait, hold on, these people they got something. somebody might be able to pull theirs
Or,
out before I can get to the next one. Come on
and,
now.
or also Ty and John.
No, sir. That
Or also the second that he was ringing out fire, because a lot of things that the people don't talk about with the church in California, the reason why that man was stopped in that church is because they said people put their lives on the line to jump on him. So think about the store situation. Now apply that to the store situation, because it ended up being now 5 wounded, 5 wounded, 1 fatal in the church because people jumped him. Now you go and you segue to the store. It would, I believe what John is saying, it wouldn't have been as many because somebody who sees it gonna pull out their piece.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I could feel that. I could feel that.
Go ahead, D.
I'm gonna say it like this, man. I don't mind throwing that hammer at somebody if need be, if need be. But listen, the security guard there, he had a gun, and I'm almost sure somebody else there had a gun also. But listen, to the point where John, Big Brother John was talking about the reefer. If it was just plain weed that they were selling, I don't kick against it. But they not selling plain weed. They selling weed mixed with meth, mixed with cocaine, weed mixed with fentanyl. That's why there's so many violent young people around here. Most of the violence going on around here in the city of Indy is by young people that's smoking that yin yang. I mean, they smoking stuff that, man, where you know where I can get that gas at, man, where that lighter fluid.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, they smoking they smoking, you know, they smoking stuff that is known to mess your head up. And that's why they run around here. Hey, it used to be a time where you could go fist fight. You can't do that no more. You got young guys running around here. I seen a guy the other day on the playground pull out something looked like a desert eagle. Looked like a desert eagle, talking about, yeah, man, then you hit me again. Foul me one more time. I mean, come on, you guys playing basketball.
Yeah, these young guys, they can't take no licking. They cannot take a licking these days.
No,
They
you
ain't
gotta
made
put
out of
them.
nothing.
What'd you say?
Yeah, but
I said they ain't made out of nothing.
yeah, that's that bad infamil and Similac they've been raised on, mess their brains up.
Well, there's a shortage on it now. There's a shortage
Yeah,
on it.
hey, I tell you what, if they keep a shortage on it and them babies go to that titty milk in about 5 or 6 years, they'll have some sense.
Hey, Bishop Dwayne, we're gonna be closing this thing out, but what's your take on this whole situation about carrying guns? You know, because I know some preachers that they carry a piece. So what's your take on that?
I got one on me right now.
Yes, sir.
Well, I
Because
guess
my
if you
church, because my church is downtown Gary on E6 Avenue.
Right in the hood.
Church
Right.
in the hood. Hallelujah. Praise God. But at the same time, you ain't finna walk up in here and shoot all my members. Matter of fact, I'm not the only one.
Amen.
Not in the congregation. It's a few.
Come on.
Amen.
well, I guess if you don't believe the Lord to protect you, might as well get what you can get.
There you go.
I believe, look, I believe in Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I believe all of that. But I also believe that you got to have your head on right.
Right. Common sense.
Keep your
Yes,
head on the
sir.
swivel. Keep your head on.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. I agree with you. You do have to have your head on right. So when Jesus told Peter, "Put your sword up, don't cut the man ear out," he might have just misspoken right there. Peter,
No, but
better
at
put
the
that
same
knife back
time,
on him.
that same Jesus, that same Jesus told his disciples not only to get a cloak, but go buy you a sword too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but he
See, you got to speak in context.
Right.
Yeshua had to be captured. Prophecy
Come
had
on.
to be fulfilled.
Come
So
on
that's
now.
why you put your sword up, Peter, because this is prophecy.
Right, right.
Okay, so
In context, brother, you protect your family, man. In context.
But wait,
I
wait,
could
wait.
think
Okay,
about
so
I could think about stories where my grandmother told me when she had a newborn baby and somebody crept in her house with her newborn baby.
Oh
But out
no.
of fear that they had that peace, they ran right back out that house. You don't come on.
Mm-hmm.
well, ain't nothing wrong with it.
But wait. Here go the thing though. Y'all, both of the Dwaynes is going back and forth with a man that has plenty guns himself. That D got guns.
Right.
But y'all going back and forth with him. I just had to put him out there like that.
I
Yeah.
refuse to. I refuse to answer on the grounds I might get a 6-pack and a quarter of Hennessy.
Yeah, I already know you got him. You talking about you feel I know you got him.
Well, in my other life, you didn't show them till it was time to use them.
That's
Well, yeah,
accurate.
it ain't about showing it. It's just about having it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, well,
He
I guess,
also ready.
And
I get ready to start me. I guess I get ready to start me a church called the Church of Brother David says. Okay, the angel will protect you, but boy, I need that old Smith and Wesson to bark
Here
a
you
little
go.
bit.
Here you
Hey,
go. Here you
Kiwi
go.
17. Kiwi
go
17
ahead.
Hey,
said watch
Go
and
hey,
pray.
go
Absolutely.
ahead and start your church, brother.
thanks. Get back on that Pepsi too. I need Pepsi to come back.
Hey, hey,
Put that Sprite up, brother.
That's Sprite messing them up right now. That Sprite got you bound, bro. Go on,
Yes,
get you
sir.
hey, now
that.
check this out real quick. This is about a couple of seconds right here. One person was killed and another injured in a shooting after a high school graduation in Middle Tennessee State. See there? You can't even graduate from school without somebody shooting the place up.
Man, it's lack of shame, man.
That's bad. That's bad.
Lack of
Well,
shame
you
out
know
here.
what? That's happening everywhere, y'all. But I think the point is that not only should we protect ourselves, uh, like Dwayne always say, that the man is the teacher and the protector of the home. So we got to protect our young ones as well, and also teach them how to use firearms the correct way. Because
Right.
please believe everybody else is doing it. You know what I mean? So we need to get in there with our children when they're young, and take them to the range and start, uh, teaching them how to properly use a firearm, whether they like it or not, so they can learn how to protect themselves when they're alone or when they're in a space where they're unfamiliar, living by themselves for the first time or whatever. Because please believe, it was just it was a different way of thinking in my time. Uh, even in the music, you know, I think toting a gun was seen as a bad thing and not a tool of self defense. If y'all remember MC Light, you ain't guarding the door, so what you got a gun for? You know what I'm saying? Because all the violence that was going on.
Talk about that song, Self Destruction.
Yeah, yeah. If you carried a gun, you would look there. So what you out here doing? And you got a gun. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the fact that I'm 18 and I graduated from high school and I graduated from college and I got my own place and I know the law. So I got a weapons carry card and I'm carrying for self defense. But if you were that young and you were carrying a weapon, it was looked on as a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got that wrong in our culture and in our community. There's nothing wrong with carrying a gun for self defense. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing
I'm
wrong
I'm
with it.
I'm
And
just
I
gonna
think
put
we
out
got that
there.
misconstrued. I
Yeah.
can't tell y'all, uh, my grandfather, my mother, my grandmother, everybody in my family carried one. My grandfather would pick me up from school and have his 22 in the car. Nobody ever had a permit. You know what I'm saying? Because they did not know the law. They did not know it was easy to just go get a fingerprint, pay some money. Now you got a little bitty card that say you can have it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know. They weren't informed. They wasn't educated about it. So they didn't know. All they knew was having a gun was a bad thing. I can have one in the house. I just ain't supposed to walk around with one. No, you can walk around with one. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't given the information. You know what I'm saying? And that information not getting passed down goes from generation to generation to generation. I wasn't 40 some years old until I got my first permit. You know what I mean? Because the information wasn't passed down. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do that because lack of information can cause a serious situation when you don't know any better.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true. And you know what? I work security and I am licensed to carry, but at the end of the day, I am a man with a family. And I have to agree with everything you're saying that that information needs to be handed down. And the one way that we have been held down as a people is we don't get information. And by the time we get information, they're changing the laws on it. And so we definitely have to make sure that we pass that information down from generation to generation, not only information, but the skill as well. I agree with that 100%.
Wait,
What?
Bishop, we gonna close out, Bishop. So we want to have final last remarks from you, and then we'll go to everyone else.
I'm going to say this. Um, if we ever, needed just a real, true perspective on things as it relates to how the world is right now, we better look to Jesus quick. I don't care how tampered with the King James version is or any other version. There's a true and living God in that Bible, and if we don't choose Him, then we automatically choose this death. And that's all I got to say.
Well, Bishop, we appreciate you coming on tonight. We hope to have you back again because this was great right here. We enjoy these conversations, real conversations with the clergy, because some of the clergy, they could just be so spiritual. We can't even get them to talk about nothing down here on the earth. And we appreciate you coming out tonight and having that conversation with us.
Privilege, man. Privilege. We'll do it again.
Okay,
Good to see you, Bishop. Good to see you.
Love you, man. Love y'all.
All
Love
right, man.
y'all.
Bless you now.
you too, bro.
Take care.
Peace. Well, all right. Let's go to we're gonna go to D Train.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like James Brown. I'm gonna hit it and quit. Hey man, I, I like your bishop, man. I have to say kudos to him, man. Ain't nothing wrong with keeping it real. There's a couple of preachers down in Texas that are packing, and I know if the preachers are packing, the whole house packing. So everybody gonna get some amen, and everybody gonna get a fair share in the offering, like it or not. Hey man, but you guys, hey man, as usual, T, you know, you always got a good show, man. And I like you brothers really putting it out there for an old man like myself. It kind of makes me feel good to see the youngins out there putting their words out. I like that. Hey man, you guys are fantastic, man. And whenever you want to learn about politics, always call up the D train. I can tell you what's going down. And this is for you, T, my main man, T. Get off Joe Biden's back. As long as the Senate is controlled by them Republicans, Joe Biden is just a figurehead. That's all. He can say, I'm going to release the oil, but if the Senate says no, Joe McCarthy says no, guess what? No oil's released because the Senate didn't say yay, yay. Hey, you guys, take it easy, man. I'll see you guys around, man.
Appreciate it, D. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to King Dwayne.
Hey, man. Great show as always, man. Really glad to see a good friend on tonight, man. Yeah, you know, we worked side by side many times at the juvenile center, me and Bishop Dwayne, man. So I've been know he packed, you know what I'm saying? So hey, you know, and it's nothing wrong with having that, you know, be a license, like John was saying. You gotta know you gotta know the law of the land that you live in, man. You and that's, you know, I was talking to a friend today, you know, just about why, you know, she was just asking me, you know, why, you know, I noticed there's certain things you always talk about with your sons. What about your girls? This, that, other. And I broke it down to her. The reason why I'm different with my sons and my girls is because there is a clear difference. And the way that you gotta equip these young men today because they're the leaders. They're the leaders. And I love what Bishop pointed out that we are lacking because of what's going on in the homes. Our people are lacking structure. And it's hard to look at a Big John. It's hard to look at a Lord Ty and see leadership and be honored in authority because our people are not used to looking at us in authority. They don't think that's tied to our history.
Come on.
So it's a good thing to be present and alive, to be able to pass things down to your children. It's a beautiful thing, because going back to the zeitgeist, I got to finish it up, but it was some good things in there, man. And I appreciate John for putting that, out there. Some of the things I jotted down is that what I felt like I got out the gate is that, number one, Yahweh loves us, but he doesn't love sin. Um, and so we have to understand that, and we have to, the things that a lot of people say, they just have to understand that, as much as he loves us, we can put ourselves in our own bed. He ain't the one putting us in heaven and hell. We we lie in the bed. The scriptures say we choose the bed we lie in by the life we live. Um, then it went on talking about money. Well, money answers all things, so it's not the money that's the sin; it's the love of it. Everything that Ty said about what's happening in gas prices and the inflation and everything in the world, it's because we're in a system that loves money. And they don't care about breaking backs of you and I, because we're supposed to be debt slaves. We're supposed to be the ones that pay the debts for their wars that they wage. We're the ones that's supposed to put into this system, the matrix. Every time they call something a holiday, we just spend money, spend money, spend money, and we don't understand that Christianity is tied to all that foolishness. But there's a real God, as Bishop said, and we got to know where that ties back to. Then Yahweh doesn't need anything from us. He doesn't. Because I remember that being pointed out in Zeitgeist that, oh, this God supposedly need money. He don't need nothing from us. But we are in a system, and there is a certain way we're supposed to move. And wherever a man put his treasure, there you can find him. So why not put your treasure in a place that leads your children to a lineage? That's why when you're in a proper church, that's how you move with your money, just like you move with your money everywhere else. But there are crooks. So you got to watch that, because there are officers that are in the church and they are crooks.
Oh
So
yeah.
you pray to God, you keep a watchful eye, and you make sure that you look for the things that are contrary to those scriptures. So you uproot yourself if you see any of those things, but you don't judge the whole collective. And then the last thing is just that the Son is worshipped and adored. That's tied to all of those different stories that were all copying the original. There is a left hand side, there is a right hand side, and you can look at the story of Superman. That's supposed to be Christ. So we just have to understand what the real thing is and find ourselves running to that. So I appreciate you, John. I'm gonna finish that, because that was a good dig, and I appreciate you for putting it out there. But I love y'all. Your boy out.
Love you too, bro. Appreciate it, bro. But hey, hold on, Dwayne. Hold on. Hey, hey, they still in Miami.
Yeah, that's the second game in Miami.
Ooh, the Celtics ain't playing.
Yeah, that second half just started, man. Them boys can shoot, man.
Boy,
Them
they
boys
not
really
playing.
shoot.
I
When
know
they get
Jason
hot.
Tatum out there. I know Jason Tatum out there doing it. I know he
Yeah, they be putting up. They put up 53s. I think in that one game, that last game against Giannis. Now they
they
put up
already
a lot of,
scored a basket. Yeah.
yeah, they puts up a lot of threes, man. That they on point.
Oh, Jimmy Butler.
So,
Jimmy Butler better get on this game, because after this game, they going to Boston.
I mean, he doing what he can do, but he don't really have no other star.
Kind of like
Lowry
Giannis.
was his other guy. Carl
Yeah.
Lowry been down like the whole playoffs with the hamstring. So he need Bam or somebody to step up with him.
Yeah, so Boston probably might get that one. They might come out with that one. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, boy.
We got Big John on the scene.
What's going on, y'all? Great show tonight, man. Great show. Got a lot of information out,
Man.
a lot of good opinions out. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. For some of y'all in the chat room, man, it comes on consistently, man. Hit up Ty for that link so you can get on the show, man, and just shoot your opinion out there every now and then so we can see some new faces.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
we didn't drop the link tonight. We'll drop it next week for him to talk.
And we'll drop it next week, you know what I'm saying, so we can see some of y'all faces and hear some of y'all's opinions. But if you don't, still, continue to be in the chat room. We appreciate you. Ty always read them chats off. He always post them on there to let everybody know that you listening and that you're part of the show. And you see what that is right there going across the stream at $ Tyron Joe. show your love, man. Show your love so we can keep the show going. Show your love and hit Tyron up. He got merch. He got merch. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna be a part of the movement if you ain't got no merch? Get you some merch. I still need me a hat, Ty.
Oh, we're gonna get
Yeah.
all that. We're gonna get all that when I get back in town. We're gonna have them make some more. But I gotta, yeah. Matter of fact, I told you I gotta get your boy Thomas, whoever make his heads.
Oh
That's
yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
get him
yeah,
to make
yeah.
mine.
So
Yep.
did. Yep.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, when you can get you some merch, hit the cash app so you can be a part and keep tuning in, man. Like Tyron said, the likes are free, the dislikes are free. We on YouTube, we on Facebook, we everywhere. So tune in, man. And if you didn't see a show, go back and watch it and give us a like. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. You know what I'm saying? So when we get that new content out, it'll pop right up, go right to you. You know what I'm saying? Uh I ain't got really much to say about the show, man. Just a lot of good information given out. Me, I'm usually on the same thing. Protecting yourself at all times, educate yourself at all times, learn the laws of your state, learn the gun laws of your state. Um, that's why we do current events every now and then, so y'all can see what's going on in the world, so you won't be oblivious to what's going on. So when these major things happen, you can say, "Oh man," and we could talk about it. And when those situations arise, you'll be better prepared to prepare yourself, especially if you need to protect yourself. So that's all I got, man. And keep watching the show. And shout out to GIB.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Appreciate it. Ebony, I got you. Yes, you gonna get a shirt, Ebony. You will get a shirt. But I'm gonna do this, man. I'm gonna do this for the chat room. I'm gonna say all the names in the chat room, and then I'm gonna just let them horns off after I say everybody's name. So we had Kiwi 17. Bless your daughter. We appreciate you for coming out. Will so to our bless your son. I don't know who that is, but bless him. Trail Money. We got Trail Money, King Dwayne, Buke Wheel. That's King Dwayne as well. Let me see who else we got. Deanna, J Cruz Entertainment. Bless all of you guys. Ebony. Shout out to you. Much love to everybody that was in the chat room. Let's go ahead and let them horns out for them one time. We're gonna let the horns out for our special guest tonight, Bishop Dwayne Coleman. Man, it's not often that you'll have a person that's not just a pastor that's genuine like that, that'll really come and sit down. But I'm thankful tonight that we had Bishop Dwayne. Not only that, a lot of the other pastors that I've had on there, Bishop, I don't know if he a bishop, but Pastor Antoine, Howard, thankful for him, a genuine person. Pastor Larry, Pastor Lionel Rush. These are pastors that we've had on here this year. Very genuine men that said, "Hey, I'm coming on. I want to talk." So we're thankful for all of them. Matter of fact, let's let the horns out for them. And the rest of my panelists, we're gonna let the horns out for them. King Dwayne, Big John, man. I ain't gonna lie, Big John came through tonight with the clutch. He came through with that clutch jumper because I truly believe, even though I don't carry a gun right now, I will in the future. I will be carrying them. But yeah, you need that gun. You need that gun because somebody could have shot that old dude to do something. And right, made Bishop Dwayne made a great point. He said that they no, I think that was King Dwayne. He said that they all put their lives as far as the church situation. They all, was willing to give up their life to be able to save other lives. So that's just what it's got to be. That's what it's about. It's like, in those times we got to be willing to, either if you got your gun, you got to be willing to shoot, or if not, you got to be willing to run up and tackle to be able to stop him from shooting or stop her from shooting. So, man, yeah, John came in on that. King Dwayne, Mr. D. We want some women up here too on this panel. Just for the record, we want some women up here on the panel. But let's let the horns out for them. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, if you think you are about to hit the wall, okay, if you think you're about to hit the wall, you probably are. And if you're hitting the wall, put your hands out to embrace yourself. I'm just going I'm just saying that I'm giving out just a little bit of dating advice. If you think you're about to hit the wall, you probably are. Put your hands out to embrace yourself. And once you embrace yourself and put your hands out, then think about, what is it about me that I need to change? What is it about my mind? What is it about my body that I need to change so I won't feel this way? So I won't feel unloved. So I won't feel as if there's nobody out there in the world that don't want me. Think about it. Think about it. Put it into perspective. Change yourself. We're not gonna keep you long at all tonight. That's pretty much what I wanted to say, man. Shout out again to the pastor. Let me see. I'm trying to find some music. Do I got any music up here? Oh, I know how we're gonna close this thing out. Everybody, we'll see you in 7 days. Peace. Be blessed.
Anybody that has your ear is able to plant anything in your heart that they want to plant to their own advantage. They'll tell you you're cute, you're pretty. They'll tell you this and that and the other because they have an agenda in their heart that they want to connect your heart to, that you'll bend over backwards to give them what they want. But see, God is not like that. God is not trying to give you something. God is trying to give you someone. He didn't come to establish no religion. He came to establish relationship. God is actually in love with you. But whenever some other fool come along, they got their own agenda. And if you give them your ear, you have given them a very important part of you that does not belong to them. Your ear was designed for the voice